What's going on, guys? Just going to be talking about the Sons of Anarchy Season 5 finale that I thought was pretty damn nice. I actually thought that was a great closure to this episode and season. The entire season was intense, especially the first few episodes, and then it got more intense with on. This would have to have been Kurt Sutter's best work on the season, between Season 1 and 2. There's a lot of things I have to talk about this episode too, and also I want to answer a few unanswered questions that I think could be explained in Season 6. But to start off the episode, of course, this is the D-Day to Tig, as Jax is going to hand him over to Pope. And this was sort of something that I myself was very kind of hoping something was going to come out, so from some fallout. I had seen the What the Fuck Sutter, and I've seen his episodes, and I'm coming towards the finale, and, kind of let out some hints that something was going to happen, something intense was going to go down, so this is what it is. We start off with them, Jax and Pope, talking, and, it was a good conversation to kind of let off to the beginning of Season 5's finale, and, I'm telling you right now, it was a great conversation, because it kind of sets up that mood. Then we go off to some part of the episode where Nero has some beef with this guy, I think it was Dante, and they come to this dog fighting thing, and this sets off Tig because, this is something, he's like an animal lover, and this was kind of an intense thing to watch to me because I'm an animal lover, and I know that it's all make-believe, but it was just point out crazy. This guy, who I guess it was his dog, carried it out. And next thing you know, he was about to put down the dog. And Jax, because Tig's about to take this guy down, and then Jax stops him. And then, it was a good thing. But at the same time, it was unanswered. He takes the guy, leaves one behind. Then Tig takes the dog. Pete does, actually, I'm sorry. And sends it to safety. I guess he'll appear later on in the episode. Then they break into this place, wait for where Dante is. They take out the entire people. It's like a setup. The Mayans came in to play, and Nero came in. It was like a big, nice little raid. Then, sort of the intense scene was when these guys were playing. I thought someone was going to get killed, not going to lie, when I first saw that. Luckily, no one did, and, they took down Dante. The dog became safe. They stitched him up. So from there, we lead on to the point where I'm going to talk about the drop-off later. I'm going to point out parts. One part that was interesting was Tara talking to Wendy about the scooter ball or shot ball, whatever kind of drug she was inserted with in last week's episode. It was really a discussion about why Jax would do that, but it kind of makes some sense. But eventually, Jax explains that, she's always been a junkie, so it was probably just, that sort of way of saying that, reformation's all bullshit, which it most likely could be. It makes some great sense. But, the thing with Tara is that she's able to she can go back to work, her arms are completely fine. And, eventually, it leads to where Gemma comes in because her plan is to take the kids and get out from what Wendy said. She wants to plan to leave Charming, as this was brought into Season 4. And, eventually Gemma says, you're not taking the kids, or she'll go to the FBI about the incident with the auto and all that. So it does make some great sense. And now onto the drop-off sequence. It's sort of like a thing where, there's going to be something to do with the animal rig, with what Jack says to take. Then Chip stops him real quick and says, what you're getting yourself into. But it's all part of the game. They take the drop-off. Pope is with them. And basically, Tig doesn't know yet, but he's set up, and he gets all pissed and all that, and then Jax wants to wait when you're done with him, because Jax wants to, this envelope something with Charming Heights with his leverage, with Jacob Hale, and then it goes into the garage. And this was a sequence I myself was heart-beating for, because I knew something bad was going to go down. What happens? He gets his pack vest, puts it in his bin in the motorcycle, gets out Clay's silencer, his gun, and next thing you know, shoots one of the informants who was waiting outside while Pope's taking off his suit, his t-shirt, and next thing you know, it just turns into a great scene. Jax goes all, friggin' hitman and snipes about his 3 associates, then tells Pope to get down, and then next thing you know, Tig knows that it was all set up, that, he's really not going to get killed or nothing. Then he goes to Jax, and, Jax goes to Tig and says, you do it. Next thing you know, great sequence, since Pope killed his daughter, and if you remember in episode 1 of season 5, he was like, you're the N-word, I'm not going to say it, they're all dead, and it did turn to come true. Next thing you know, Tig silences Pope, and he's dead on the ground. The interesting thing is that this was Clay's gun, so Roosevelt comes back to work, finally, and Jax gives him the tip that, on top of this hill there's Clay's gun, and that, Clay's behind the shooting. Typically, if you saw it was Jax. Then Jax goes to August Monks, his Pope's associate, his one-man band, and tells him the story that Clay was stupid and do all that. Told him that, Clay did it, he hated Pope. August has some sort of doubt in it, and I knew that was happening, but that didn't come into play until, Jax covered it up, and he wanted to go to the agreement with Truman Heights, which was a good part. Then August puts a hit on Clay, the bounty, and then we cut off the juice where, this is what's going to happen. Roosevelt comes in, arrests Clay. Gemma, sticking to her word with Jax about getting around him, only to get info out of him. Next thing you know, Clay's arrested. Gemma betrays Clay, basically. And after that one sequence, the pieces were coming together. Finally, some closure. But it could lead into some retaliation come season 6 with some sort of element. But then afterwards, going back to Tara, towards the end of the episode, Bobby had some tense scene, and next thing you know, he cuts off his patch as VP, and it's over. So it obviously just goes to show you that he's not going to work with Jax as VP because of the decisions Jax has made over the past few episodes, and it cuts off there. Meanwhile, Otto, back with him, we have the appearance of Donald Logue again playing Lee Torek, and we find out that, his sister, who Otto killed, was the only family he had. She was the only family, so that explains why he's so devoted to just taking out the MC almost. And you saw a cutscene towards the end of season, episode 12, where he had all these guns and stuff, so it kind of goes to show you that there could be a possible fight in season 6, and he watches this thing with Otto, and then Otto bites his tongue, he gets it off so he doesn't talk, and he cries and bleeds, and it goes on. It was a very gory scene to me. It was actually pretty nice, but just goes to show you. Then in the end, Gemma must have went to the authorities as proposed and got Tara arrested, because at the end she wants to take the kids with him, and if you're not with him, every Jax kind of let up Jax, and he was about to leave. Next thing you know, the cops come and arrest Tara because of the video footage or some sort of element with the Otto with the cross and the crucifix, in the episode 10. So, Tara's arrested, that's going to be a big involvement. The ending sequence where Symphony for the Devil by Jane's Addiction, it played out perfectly. Next thing you know, you see Clay in cuffs with 2 African Americans, so it kind of goes to show you with that bounty that there's going to be some sort of incident towards the end of that episode next season. A few unanswered questions I get is with Lee Torek. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to be an ally with the authorities on this or nothing like that. Another question is, if you remember carefully in episode 10, that Jax wanted some information regarding the people who were behind Opie's death. I don't know if he's going to ever find them or something. It's one of those questions that's not really useful now, but, as it's revenge, because that was like his brother, why not? It could be a perfect Carnage scene. Anyways, this was an intense episode. I only put in as much for a 10-minute video. This was a great episode. I thought it made a great finale. Hopefully when it comes down to season 6, we're going to be seeing some more action, more intensity. And hopefully none of the great characters that we know, like Opie, are going to die. Most likely they will, but we don't know who. Anyways, hopefully season 6 will be great. I love season 5. I definitely will buy it on DVD when it comes out next year. So, anyways, take care.